Hello, my name is Talethea, and I am hoping that you all will come along with me as I work and plan and research and execute my intent to go from working from home full time to living on board cruise ships while also working full time. So let's do it.
If you could take one part of your vacation or your cruise vacation and make it a part of your everyday life, what part of it would it be? What would you choose? What's one thing that you could do on cruise ships or on cruise vacations that you would love to just have be a normal part of your everyday life? And would you get bored with it? Tell me more. Let me know. Living on cruise ships versus cruise vacations. They're not exactly the same thing. So let's talk about it a little bit. My name is Talethea, and I am currently transitioning. I'm going from working and living full time at home in a normal house to working and living full time on cruise ships. So I'm doing a lot of the research now. I'm taking y'all along the way with me as I kind of figure this thing out and make the transition. So the more I talk about wanting to go and live on cruise ships, the more questions I get, right? That's just a part of the process. And a lot of the questions that I've gotten have been focused more on a situation where folks are just used to being on cruise ships for vacation, which makes sense, right? That's usually what folks do on cruise ships. My intention is to work my life around so that it's more like I'm living on the cruise ship with a little bit of vacation kind of sprinkled in. That's my intention. So when I tell folks that I want to live and work on cruise ships, I tend to hear the same thing like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. You'll want to get off on all the excursions. You'll want to go and, do all the cool things. So like go and visit the spa and all the things that people do when they're like just on vacation, which is not necessarily untrue, right? It's not like I don't intend to go and do those things. In fact, I am definitely looking forward to some of them, but those aren't the focus. The destination for me is the ship already. It's not necessarily the different things that we're like going to see. Now, when I get off work, when I finish my work day, I am looking forward to getting off and going and seeing whatever part of the world I'm in. I am looking forward to going to the ships on the different shows on the cruise ship, and things like that. But those are a part of the experience, not necessarily the experience, which would be the case if I was going on vacation, right, on a cruise ship. That makes sense, y'all? And honestly, I understand why people would think that because that here again that tends to be their experience. Cruise ships are where people kind of go to get away from their everyday life. They're on vacation. The mindset when you are on vacation is completely different experience, and I get that as well. But here's the interesting part: if I actually live on cruise ships, eventually it's not really my vacation, right? It's just my home. It's where I live, which I'm okay with that too. So while I won't be on vacation every day, there are some pretty amazing things that'll become a part of my everyday life. So let's talk about that. Most people will probably only get to experience some of that stuff when they're on vacation, which is a part of how vacationing goes. I am looking forward to the part where I can kind of change my whole mindset and make this work. For starters, when I did the math for how much it will cost, y'all, it would be I don't know how shocked y'all will be to find out once you work in how much I pay a month for like rent, insurance, my car, food, laundry, and all the other things that just a part of your normal everyday expenses, how much of that will be replaced with living on a cruise ship. It is actually not much more expensive. I don't know. Let me know if that's something y'all interested in. I'll do a couple more videos and I'll give you the actual numbers. But it's really not that much more expensive. In fact, that's how I kind of caught on to this thing. For starters, I've been watching Miss Linnell. She does Poverty to Paradise. She has transitioned her whole life where she kind of did the thing where you sell all your stuff and get rid of the things that you don't necessarily need, shed your life, and take on this new life where she's kind of traveling all over the world and loving it. She's doing a great job. Here again, Poverty to Paradise on YouTube. Y'all go check her out. So I kind of saw it with her, which kind of cemented it for me. But the first time I saw it, I actually used to work at a cruise. I used to work selling cruises, and which was a lot of fun. You'd be very surprised at how good I was at selling cruises as somebody who had never actually been on a cruise. But one of the ladies that I talked to, she and her adult son they had worked their life out so that instead of her going into a home or some kind of assisted living, they had sold all of their like the things like their home and things like that, and they were living on cruise ships full time. I was happy to hear from her all the time. For starters, she was living on cruise ships full time, so it got to be pretty dependable income because I worked on commission. But also, she was really a nice lady, and she did a good job of like sharing her experience with me. And when she did the math, it was significantly less expensive for her and her son to go and live on cruise ships instead of like living their life land bound and just kind of in one space. And her thing was like, I want to go and see the world. And at the time, I just remember feeling like, why not? So recently, when I had that conversation, when I realized that, like, I saw Miss Linnell doing it, and I started looking at my own life, it's like, well, why not? Why can't I work full time? Those moving ships have internet and all the other resources that I need to be able to make this thing happen. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not escaping my work, right? I'm just changing my view, right? Currently, I work at home. I have my at-home office, which is fine. I'll still probably, but the thing is, I'll still be working. I'm still going to do my actual job. There will still be Zoom meetings. I still need emails and projects and deadlines and just the different things that I work on, like as a part of my normal everyday job, which is amazing. Things I'm kind of looking forward. Well, just thinking about notably, like instead of getting up and going into the kitchen to get a snack, I'll probably go out on my balcony, order some room service, the things that go along with the cruise already, right? I just the idea of being able to look out my window, whether it's ocean view or a balcony or just a balcony or if I go out and sit on deck somewhere, just being able to see the water, that excites me. My career won't stop, my goals won't stop, the businesses that I have and am running as well, that all won't stop. The only thing that'll change is the scenery. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So vacation highlights, some of them can kind of become an everyday part of my life, right? So not necessarily just these big things that I'm going to do every now and again, which is how vacation works, but something that I'll be able to work in my life on a regular basis, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the travel. I'm looking forward to the excursions, but here again, they just aren't a part of, they won't be a part of my entire experience. And it won't be happening because it's vacation day. It'll just be happening because it's Tuesday and I'm off work. And so I can go and hang out at, in Curacao or Bimini or wherever I am, and kind of enjoy the scenery and the things that are there. Many people will, I don't know, if I were not planning to go live on a cruise ship, my next step will be to find somewhere where I was close to the water. I love being close to the water. Now I'm just making it so that I am very close to the water, closer to the water than the average person that lives on the water, which I'm actually also okay with. I'm looking forward to getting off work or even while I'm working and sitting on the deck and watching the sunset, being able to do that on a regular basis, the fresh ocean air, just being able to smell the ocean from work. Oh my gosh. No lawn to mow, no like I won't have to worry about shoveling driveways or snow. Goodness gracious, just fresh air and the ocean around me on a regular basis. And I'm looking forward to that. I know a huge part of it is a lot of times going to new countries is like, a huge part of life, which it is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not negating any of those things being important because they are. I'm just excited about being able to make them something that I do on a regular basis as a part of my normal life, right? It's not like I have to take off work or use PTO to go and see somewhere amazing. I'm going to be on board a ship. So when I get off work, I can get off the ship and go do those amazing things. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to taking y'all along too. I love the idea that the ship already has entertainment, right? I can go see the shows, there'll be live music, the different productions, the parties that are on deck, the movies. And some of that stuff I can do here, right? I can go to the movies being landlocked. But I just like the idea that that'll all be a part of the experience for me. So I'm really looking forward to that. It'll all be like right downstairs. I can go get on the elevator and go down to whatever the deck is and just go do that. You know what I mean? I love the idea of being able to like get off work, close my laptop, and go do those things that I'm kind of looking forward to. It feels kind of vacation like, but it's not really a vacation because it'll just be a part of my everyday life. So I'm looking forward to that. Things that I'm also considering, right? My budget, making sure that's working. Internet planning, from what I hear. And actually, that'll be a part of my research cruises, which is loading. I'm so excited, y'all. But I can't give y'all too many details because as a solo woman traveler, I'll also make it a part of my plan to not even kind of tell y'all where I will be until I have gone there and left already. I got to be smart, right? But just the itineraries, laundry, being able to like make sure my work schedule lines up, like logging on and working when it's time for me to be working, according to this time zone where my job is. Being sure that I have the things that I need for the seasons, keeping up with like passport renewals and just being productive. I'm not worried about the idea of me being able to be responsible. I feel like I feel fine about that. I'll be able to handle that. what I'm working on now is the process to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success. So I will be being responsible while I'm doing it. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.